up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice & Dragons, we are going to be continuing our coverage of Saban's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid by Renegade Games and designed by Jonathan Ying. Now, this is the Ranger Allies Pack number 1, another expansion for the game, which is, of course, designed by Jonathan Ying, who has taken care of all of the content for Heroes of the Grid. Now I'm going to toss it over to Julie, who's going to tell you more about the game itself.
Well, like the game for which this is an expansion, it is a cooperative game. It's intended for ages 14 and above. It plays 2 to 5 players and about
6 players. We've got all the 6 Rangers right here.
Okay, well, okay. And it plays in about 45 to 60 minutes.
I mean, we always play with 3 Rangers each. I mean, that's 6 players.
Okay, yes.
So what are you going to be doing with the Ranger Allies? Well, this is the same as the aforementioned game, Heroes of the Grid. You're going to be moving around the board, defending Angel Grove from the assaulting monsters and the big bad, who can be Rita Repulsa, Master Vile, Lord Zed, depending on the expansion that you have. Now, this expansion will be adding these 6 or extra Ranger characters to the game. They're each from different series. You've got Zeo Ranger Gold, who is from Power Rangers Zeo. You've got the Shadow Ranger from Power Rangers SPD. You've got the Magna Defender from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Ninjor from just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He was in the last season. And the Phantom Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo. Yes, all from different series. Now, if you're wondering why I took the time to say what series they're from, well, we're going to talk about that when we get to our review. So, what time is it now, Julie?
Time to grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend, because the Power Rangers are best friends.
We're going to take it to the table one more time.
Take it to the table one more time. I might say it's morphing time, but half of these guys don't morph. They say other stuff, so it just doesn't quite work. And I wish it was a cool catchline for all of them. Now let's take a look at the components for the Ranger Allies Pack number 1 for Saban's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Now, we'll start with a quick look at the new rules. Well, it's more of a list of the components. It tells you what comes in the pack, how to integrate it, explains the abilities for Zeo Ranger Gold, as well as how to use the Phantom Ranger's cloaking ability. Now we're going to move from left to right. We'll start by taking a look at the miniatures and then take a look at the cards for each character and talk a little bit about how you can expect them to play in the game. So here we have 2 miniatures for the Shadow Ranger. You'll notice that their pose is almost identical. It's just the face that's different. So we have an unmasked Anubis Kruger and a masked version of him. Plenty of detail on the miniature, and definitely one of my favorite characters. If you watched our unboxing of this, well, some of this is going to be a little bit repetitive, so feel free to take a look down below in the video description and use the timestamps to skip ahead to our review. Now, I do really prefer the name Deca Master. I thought that was just awesome, especially with how strong the character is in the show. Now, we're going to keep going along here. Actually, change the pace. Let's just fully cover each character. So we'll take a look at his Ranger card. Anubis Kruger, SPD Shadow Ranger. His ability, Squad Commander, means that once per battle, during any Ranger turn, you may spend 1 energy to allow another Ranger to perform an attack with 3 dice instead of playing a card. So that's pretty cool if you have anyone in your battle that doesn't have any cards or any strong attack cards. This is a fairly strong attack that you can use just the common pool of energy for. Now we do get 2 Zords for him. We have the Delta Base SPD Shadow Ranger. Exhausts this card when any Ranger performs a recover action to get an extra +4 shield. That's really good. And the Delta Command Megazord. Exhausts this card to place the Megazord token in any location. When any Ranger moves to that location or performs a recover action in that location, they may power up, which is very cool. And it'll be very useful in between fights, but I still think I'm fairly partial to the standard Megazord or using the Dragon Zord in battle mode. So we'll take a look at his cards. Bark Orders. This is a maneuver that now will allow any other Ranger to immediately play one card. Then after that card resolves, the ranger may place the card on top of their deck instead of discarding it. Crowd control is a 2-die attack. After the attack resolves, if the target was a foot soldier card, you may perform an additional attack with 2 dice on another foot soldier. Discipline is a reaction. Play this card when any ranger performs an attack. The ranger may reroll any number of dice. Very cool. Judgment. So gain +1 energy. Gain an extra +1 energy if there's a monster in this location, or +2 if there's a boss in this location. Then place this card on top of your deck instead of discarding it. It's pretty cool. The Shadow Saber, special attack, so you roll a number of dice for this attack equal to the health value of the targeted enemy card. Now before rolling the dice, remove 1 die from the attack for each hit token on the card. This is a great way to take out some cards, and if you pair it with something, for example, like the Rod Saber from Zeo, you can do some massive damage and even like split it up depending on your roll. So very cool. The Shadow Slash, it's a 3-die attack, and before rolling, you may remove 1 die and gain 2 energy. I do enjoy that. Pretty cool deck. Think it's going to be fun to play. Here we've got Ninjor, creator of the Power Coins. We'll take a look at his cards. So once per battle, each ranger may look at the bottom card of their deck and may swap that card with a card from their hand. Now I do like that because if you've got some good cards stuck at the bottom, you can cycle them up. Oh, we tap Shadow Ranger. Let's grab Ninjor in battle mode. Exhaust this card to allow up to 3 rangers to each choose 1 card from their discard pile and place it on the bottom of their deck. So that's a really cool Zord, especially if you use it in conjunction with his power in battle. You can get some good cards back into your hand a lot faster than you could normally. I'm just going to move these guys up a little bit. Kind of feel like we got a little bit too much green space up there. In any case, moving on. Let's take a look at Ninjor's deck. Encouraging Words. Play this card when another ranger rolls any fail results. That ranger may choose 1 card from the discard pile and place it at the bottom of their deck. I'm not in love with this card, but it is a 3 shield card, so it's still pretty good for defense. Flying Kick, 2 dice, gain 1 energy. Nimbus Strike. So instead of choosing a target, you pick a keyword such as fast guard or passive. You roll 3 dice and you deal the full damage to up to 3 enemy cards with that keyword. Pairing this with some other abilities to boost the amount of dice is awesome. You can take out some cards fairly easily. Ninjato Blade, another 3-die attack. After this attack resolves, you may place this card on the bottom of your deck instead of discarding it. Showboating. Play this card when an enemy card without the passive keyword resolves. Prevent all effects of that enemy card and then gain 1 energy. Skip the next ranger turn. So I'm not sure how I like this one. I think it can be very handy if you're playing with lower player counts, but in a 5 or 6 player game, I don't know. Unlock Potential, which is a reaction. Play this card after any ranger exhausts a Zord card to ready that Zord card. You may play this card in any battle regardless of the location. And that is just awesome because being able to re-ready some Zords with some of their abilities. For example, it says any Zord, so remember it's a Zord, not a Megazord, unfortunately. But with like the Tyrannosaurus Zord, you could boost it and attack by essentially 4 dice. With the right card, you can be dividing it up everywhere. Just crazy. So here we've got the Phantom Ranger. Very cool. Disappointed we never got more info on the Phantom Ranger in the show. So his ability, Mysterious Hero, Cloaking Device. Sorry, he's called the Mysterious Hero. His ability is Cloaking Device. When you perform a move action, you may move your figure to or from this card during any battle. If your figure is on this card, you may move it to that location to join the battle, which is really neat when you see some of the other cards in his deck right here. So we've got his Zord, the Artillatron. Exhaust this card when any ranger performs an attack, gain 1 energy, and that ranger may ignore the guard keyword when choosing a target for the attack. So pretty cool. Now let's take a look at his cards, and we'll just move him and then enjoy a little bit further up. So the Invisible Hero, reaction. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage to reduce the damage by 2. If your figure is on your character card, you may play this card in any location, which is something that's awesome. Phantom Cloak. Gain 1 energy and move your figure from its current location to your character card. So that's a great way for you to like bow out of battle. So towards the end of a fight, if things are handled, you can move out and then potentially jump anywhere into another fight. 2 die plus 1 damage. You may ignore guards, which is just great. So I think this is going to be a very strong card. Ruby Blast. Deal 2 damage to a number of enemy cards equal the amount of energy spent to play this card. I think this will be great for clearing out foot soldiers. Spectre Barrage, which is a 3 die attack. You may ignore the guard keyword, and you may deal any amount of damage from this attack to an enemy card that is adjacent to the target instead. And then lastly, the Race Strike. So that's a 2 die attack, and if your figure is on your character card, you may play this card in any battle regardless of the location. So you can just make a 2 die attack. So if someone's low on attack cards, you can just be like, oh yeah, I'm invisible. I'll just show up, run a guy in the face, and move along. So let's take a look at Mike Corbet now, the Magna Defender. His ability, Avenging Knight. Once per battle, after an enemy card deals damage to you, deal 1 damage to that enemy card. Now that was cool. I wish it really wasn't once per battle. When Julie and I play, we really try to not get hit, but it does happen sometimes. Let's take a look at the Torazord. So exhaust this card after any ranger discards a card for defense, and you'll deal an amount of damage to an already resolved enemy card equal to the number of shields on the card. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a great way to finish off some cards, especially some boss cards. Now, sorry about this setup right here. I was trying to make sure everything fit. And the Zeo Ranger, well, Zeo Gold already got a spotlight during our last review for the game. But we'll cover him again for those of you that are just picking up the Zeo Ranger pack and do not have him from the Kickstarter. So you have the Magna Blade, which is a 5 die attack that ignores guard. And if there's a card named Magna Blaster in your discard pile, you can reroll any number of dice from the attack. Now Magna Blaster, which is a 2 die attack, and you may divide the damage from this attack among any number of targets. If the Magna Blade is in your discard pile, you get an extra 2 dice. Magna Defense, play this card when any ranger suffers damage to reduce the damage by 2. If there's a Magna Defense card in your discard pile, it becomes 4. Noble Blow, 2 die attack. If the other Noble Blow is in your discard pile, you would gain 2 energy. Sacrifice, you discard the top card of your deck, and then up to 2 of the rangers in your location may each choose 1 card from the discard pile and add it to their hand or the top of their deck. Not sure how that's going to work, but there's definitely some time to do those types of plays, especially if you get ahead in a boss fight or a monster fight. Lastly, Valiant Charge, 2 die attack. And if there's another card named Valiant Charge in your discard pile, you get an extra 2 dice to the attack. So you get to really use your discard pile with the Magna Defender. And I like how the mechanic differs from anything else we've really seen. Much like the Phantom Hero, we're really getting these cool allies that do things differently than our standard Rangers. Now, when it comes to the Gold Ranger, you get 2 versions. So Tray of Triforia, Jason Lee Scott. So each time you play a card, in addition to its normal effects, you resolve the Golden Staff ability on that card. You may spend 1 energy to resolve the ability a second time. Now, Jason Lee Scott, so that was the power of Triforia. His is the Heart of Gold. Each time you play a card, in addition to its normal effects, you may reveal 1 card from your hand, resolve the Golden Staff ability on the revealed card. If you do, place the revealed card on the bottom of your deck, and then you get to draw a card. So he's got some very interesting cycling abilities to get cards to move through his hand. Now, we've got the Gold Ranger figure. We did that a little out of order. It's a good, it's a nice long look at the components, but this is how you can get an idea as well as to how to play with them. So he does have a different pose than what he has in the Kickstarter version, which is cool. Now we can actually play as Jason and Trey at the same time. So we've got the Pure Midas Zord, Zeo Ranger Gold. So exhaust this card when any ranger reveals a card for defense. Add 1 shield, gain 1 energy, and deal 1 damage to an enemy card of your choice. So very strong Zord. Now take a look at his cards. Armored Blow, 2 die attack, Golden Staff ability. A ranger of your choice may draw 1 card. That ranger may then choose 1 card from their hand and place it on top of their deck. Golden Guard, play this card when any ranger suffers damage to reduce it by 2. You may move the staff ability, move 1 hit token from an enemy card of your choice to another card. Great way to finish off and use some of the damage. Maybe take out a boss instead of a, foot soldier. Golden Power Staff, one of my favorite cards. So this is a 6-die attack. Resolve the staff ability of any one card in your discard pile. Gold Rush. A ranger of your choice may choose one card from their discard pile and shuffle it back into their hand. This one I always enjoy, and it's a 3-die attack. Inspiring Presence. After you play this card, another ranger of your choice may immediately play one card, and you can gain 1 energy with it. Lightning Rod. This is another great one. 2-die plus 1, and then deal 1 damage to an enemy card of your choice. So you can try to take out a foot soldier and then just go like, I'll add that last damage onto that boss card or monster card that we didn't quite finish off. There you have it. We took a nice long look at the components for the Ranger Allies Pack number 1. Now keep it right here, as Julie and I are going to be coming back at you with a review for this expansion. So the Ranger Allies Pack number 1. What did you think of these additions to the game? Well, we've talked a lot about Zeo Ranger Gold already. So for those of you that are interested in just us talking about that Ranger in particular, we're going to skip over him a little bit. There'll be a link popping up over Julie's head, and then again at the end of the video, which will take you to our review of the Power Rangers Zeo expansion.
Honestly, when you told me we were reviewing more Power Rangers, I said, more Power Rangers? There's more to review? So I mean, if this is the first Power Rangers review that you're seeing, I suggest, as Jason said, there's going to be links to the other reviews you might want to go see.
Well, you know what? I'll toss one up right now. If this is your first one, go back and see the original Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid review and how to play popping up right now or shortly thereafter. So
what I'm going to say is I'm going to reiterate just to remind people, I'm not the one who loves this property. Jason is. We play it because he grew up on this and he loves it. And
you like the gameplay.
Yes, but the IP doesn't mean much to me. The characters don't mean much to me because I didn't see any of them in any of the shows. So, to me, these characters are their colors. It's the Red Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Pink Ranger. So, in this case, we played these. When we reviewed it, we played these particular
yes.
Rangers.
So just to clarify, we only use the Ranger allies. So as we have the Zeo Ranger expansion, which we got from the Kickstarter, we had 2 Zeo Gold figures. So we each had a Gold Ranger, and then we swapped between the other Rangers that were new additions to the game.
So for me, they're a color. And whatever the card says that they can do. And that's about all it is for me. And so I was a little underwhelmed with this expansion. I didn't particularly find that any of these were all that impressive when it comes to their abilities or the way that they play. They don't play, and I don't think that correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the intention is for them to play the way we played them to play together. They feel more like support to other characters. So
I've got to agree with you. Like, they definitely don't play well as a team, and that makes sense. There's 6 Rangers. Now, I have to say that all of them feel almost like a standalone character, kind of like the Green Ranger does if you've got the Kickstarter expansion or the Tommy Oliver pack. These characters can definitely go into an area with like 3 or 4 foot soldiers and stand a very good chance of coming out on top and being able to solo that area. But as a team altogether, they definitely don't flow well. And they also come into a problem that I think that we kind of had with some of the other Rangers that sort of were missing their respective teams. We had Time Force Pink, the pink girl with the giant blaster. We had Samurai Red, which was Lauren. She had that explosive saber move that they played really well. They were fun additions to have in Shattered Grid, but I don't know, there was something missing. They didn't combine well as a team. But that also is something that we said about the Shattered Grid Rangers when we took them out. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team played well together. So I do think that it's really cool to have these guys, but I don't know how often they're going to be hitting the table.
Yeah, so for me, I don't think, if you told me pick my characters, the Pink Rangers come to mind as ones that I would pick because they were fun to play. these ones, I don't think they'd be necessarily.
Oh, you like the Gold Ranger?
Yes. But I don't have a lot to say honestly about this expansion, because it just feels like just more content, and it doesn't feel to me like the one that you have to have of all the different expansions. And there were a lot of expansions that we reviewed. This one doesn't seem to me like one that I'd say, you know what, you really need to get this expansion. I think if you're like Jason and you love this and you're a completionist and you want to have them all, I think you'll have fun with it. You won't regret having them. That being said, if you're more like me and you're playing because you like the way this game plays, and you're playing because you have somebody in your life that loves Power Rangers, then I don't think you need this. That's my opinion.
And I'm going to agree with Julie, because I love different abilities on all of these Rangers. That being said, just thinking about the Zeo Ranger expansion, having the Power Pod Sword and the ability to assign dice wherever you want makes the Gold Ranger's Golden Power Staff even better as an attack. It's an extra energy, and you've got 6 dice that you can use like just all over the place, which is something that you don't get with any of these specific Rangers. You're missing that sort of key enhancement, bringing it all together that made the game a lot of fun. And as I just mentioned, why some of the other expansion teams fell flat for us. I think our favorite team right now is maybe the Zeo Rangers altogether, or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, those are the two that we really had fun playing, and I can't see any reason to really mix and match Rangers unless you're using the Legendary Ranger mode, because those two teams just work really well together. And I don't know why I'd want to bring the Shadow Ranger, the Phantom Ranger, along necessarily with these well-balanced teams that we already have that have a great 6 Ranger support already. Like, just thinking of really cool, interesting characters. We had the Ranger Slayer, Pink Ranger, that you like when she had her Bow of Darkness with some cool abilities. Now, Ninja's got an awesome card that stands out, and the Magna Defender has some cool cards, but I just find that I don't know, the whole combination of their decks.
In their Zord, there wasn't really anything impressive about any of those Zords either.
You know what, I gotta say that was the other sort of letdown. I'd have to agree with you. What I really liked, actually, there's two, I'm gonna correct myself a little bit here. Rangers that I can see besides the Gold Ranger taking in with other teams that would be just fun. Shadow Ranger works very well with his crowd control and other energy generation abilities, so you can definitely mix them in on a team. Ninjor has some cool cards, but I'm still not sure. Phantom Ranger's ability to avoid guard was cool, but if you're not really playing him solo, nothing that really adds to any particular team. So if you like to play with a lot of Rangers and specific teams, I think the two that are going to be standouts excuse me, are the Gold Ranger and the Shadow Ranger. And if you kickstarted the Zeo Rangers, well, as Julie said, I don't think this is a necessary addition. And the Zords were pretty dope. Like, having the extra 4 shields from Shadow Ranger was okay. We used the Pure Midas, which is a solid Zord, but nothing special. The Delta Command Megazord was pretty cool, though, being able to power up when you move into the last boss area.
Yeah.
But I kind of still prefer the Dragon Zord in battle mode to attack cards, or the Megazord just dealing 1 damage to every card seemed better. But I do think that the Zord was thematic. Ninja was okay. Everything else was sort of like reflecting damage, and well, it seemed like it could be a cool ability when added into a mix of other Zords. Once again, I want the Ranger teams. I want to play the Magna Defender with the Lost Galaxy Rangers. I want to play Ninja with the Turbo Rangers. Everything I've seen so far from this game has been when you get a team that's designed for it, with the extra Ranger, it plays even better. It's a lot more fun. And getting these additions is cool. We got some more new stuff coming, but still no announcements about the teams that I mentioned in the intro. So I think that's enough about this expansion. I have to agree with Julie. If you want more Rangers to play with, more variety, because this hits the table all the time, pick this up. Otherwise, I think you're hitting something that it's an okay expansion. So what's your rating for this?
It's a 5.5 for me.
5.5. Oof. I wouldn't go that low because I still think you got some nice minis and cool Rangers. So, but I got to say, this is a 6.5 for me. I like all the Rangers. It's not an essential, but a Ranger fan is not going to be disappointed adding that to Heroes of the Grid.
The reason it's a 5.5 for me is, like I said, I don't think this is an essential. I don't think, I don't think you have to have it. Push comes to shove, I might be able to give it a 6 to say it's a passing grade because, it...
5.5 is more of a fail. I thought you were going 6.
Okay, so I'll go 6 and said it's passing. It's okay. It hits bare minimums. I don't think you need it in your collection, though.
No. Compared to other expansions, pick up Zeo, pick up the Tommy Oliver expansion, get the Kickstarter exclusive. There's lots of other stuff to get before this. I'd even pick up the villain packs before this. So that just goes to show you.
So now it's time to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we have some more content for you. Is there any more Power Rangers content coming out?
Yes, we do. We've almost covered all of the content. We still have one video that has yet to be released. We will be releasing it soon. This is going to come out before our Bulk and Skull video. But we also will be reviewing the Rise of the Psycho Rangers, which actually should get Julie a little bit more excited, I think, than this one, because we have a new Ranger team and they have actual evil nemesis. So there's an evil Red Ranger, an evil Pink Ranger.
And as I'm going to steal Jason's thunder and say there are links to all of our social media content, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you'll get to see all the pictures before there's even a video of it.
Oh, yes. You will see it arriving. It's not going to be as impressive as some people's collections because ours have been arriving in chunks. I know that I've seen some pictures of it arriving when people have just gone all in on the game. And I think it would cover this entire table at that point. And then, should I steal your... Well, no, you have your thunder. Dang, she stole my line. I can't get it back.
No.
So the next thing that's going to be happening is popping up in front of us will be links to our previously released videos. So in front of me will be our most recently released one. And over in front of Julie, as we mentioned before, since it fits with one of the Rangers in the box, it will be our review of Power Rangers Zeo, the expansion for Heroes of the Grid. So now what do we need to do?
Now we grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend.
We're going to keep playing games.
Keep playing games.
And as we've said, apparently we're playing more Power Rangers.
Yes, we are. So don't forget, go Power Rangers.